Hey, how's it going, everybody? I've been watching, I was just scrolling through Facebook and I started to see these pictures. I started watching these videos of what's going on in Minneapolis right now, or Indianapolis, or however you say it, okay? It starts with an M, I say Minneapolis, okay? And it's obviously, not good what's happening there. But then I understood the frustration of it. I understood that, like, when I'm really frustrated, especially when I was younger, um, I broke stuff. Uh, I literally am getting over that right now. How do I not break something when I'm really frustrated? Because the frustration is a buildup of things over years, right? Think about how long this has been building up, not just in the minds of people now, but through DNA and, emotions travel through DNA, emotional reactions travel through DNA. You know, uh, I'm not going to get into the whole how slavery has an effect on genetics debate or argument or whatever. All I'm going to say is I can understand why they act the way they do. People, mostly black people in these riots, and there's some white people too, who are destroying these things. And I can understand why they're doing that because it's completely understandable. I've been that angry. So if enough people get that angry, that's what's going to happen. I mean, it's common sense. Is it the right thing to do? No. Should they have done it? No. Right? All of those people deserve to have their possessions reported back to them. They deserve to have all of their property fixed and repaired, right? And any money they lost, they deserve to have it back. People need their homes back. People have the right to live in safety, right? But the people doing these things deserve to have their frustrations lifted also. So they deserve justice, right? It's justice for all of them. It's justice for all because they're going to feel justice too if this cop is arrested. I don't like to advocate anyone gets arrested. I think there's other ways to learn things. Obviously, this guy knows he messed up. I'm not going to say don't arrest the guy. He broke a law. This is what happens. There's consequences. I understand that. And hopefully it'll teach him a lesson. Um, there's just a lot not being understood. And there's lies about other cases of police brutality that maybe it wasn't police brutality. This one with, what's his name, George Floyd? Or I think his name was George Floyd. I don't remember exactly. But this was obviously police brutality. There's no question about that. And so my point is, it's understandable. And I really wish more people would try to just understand it without attacking and saying all black people are like this. But that's the consequences when you do a lot of damage. People are going to say, and they're going to stereotype you even more. And, more black people could be in danger because you're perpetuating that stereotype. So the police brutality was wrong. And this is a perfect example of how someone's wrongdoing creates other people to do wrongdoing. It creates other damage, right? It just rains down on the rest of humanity when you do something wrong. It really does. For long periods of time sometimes, okay? All of the pain in my life comes from me, right? Obviously, but was frustration from someone else. And that person had problems because someone else hurt them. And that person had problems because someone else hurt them, right? Like, it just... I thought he was barking because maybe I hit this or something. But it just makes sense, right? So, I'm just tired of people being racist, and I'm tired of people burning down houses. I'm tired of both sides, okay? Tired of both sides. And then there's black people who don't like white people. Tired of those people too. Hold on. You just have to try to understand people, and I guess that's the whole point of this video. Yeah. I wish I was better spoken about it. There's a lot of words I'm just not thinking of right now. I'm frustrated about it, So, but we just need to try to understand, Really hope those riots don't continue. That's horrible. If they're all for justice, then they want the justice for themselves too, right? Some people are just doing this because they want to break stuff. I mean, it's very true. I applauded the governor of Minneapolis. I applauded his response. I thought it was really great. He didn't demonize anybody, which is cool. It's amazing. And some people didn't like that, I'm just tired of people being anti-Semitic and people being racist and just, and ageist and sexist. And I'm tired of all of it, I think part of the reason why you have virtue signaling and people, just being over dramatic is because it's a pushback from people not being that way. Because people aren't because there's some people who are not virtuous at all, who don't react at all. So you're going to see that extreme pushback of people overreacting and people virtue signaling. It gets overdone. It becomes over the top. It's a pushback effect. It always happens. If people were just more virtuous and just more understanding, you wouldn't have this intense imbalance, And you have 1,000 people saying the same thing I'm saying. I just hope it gets through, Don't be afraid to tell people that they might want to be nicer, There's less and less room for racism and anti-Semitism, and I have Jewish people who I see as part of my family. I have Italians who I see as part of my family, kind of. Well, they're kind of Italian, but I have, it's kind of complicated, but I had stepsisters and I had a step-grandfather, and I still remember everyone I've ever met, And I love so many people, and I have a really big family, and I'd always invite them. If I had enough money, I'd send all the women in my family roses, and all my friends roses that were girls. And if a guy liked roses, If I had enough money to do it, I would help so many people all the time. I try to make everyone feel so good all the time. It's a shame, and I plan to have that amount of money to do that one day, Hopefully sometime soon if it's God's will, But, I'm not really going to give a solution, because my solution would be a pretty unpopular opinion. But they want this guy arrested, and kind of seems like that's the only thing they can really do, because I have a hard time understanding why cops aren't arrested. Like, if you're breaking a law, it doesn't matter if you're a cop. You broke the law, but you never even go to a courthouse. How do you murder somebody and you never even have to go to a courthouse? Because you're a cop, That doesn't make any sense. It's just not fair. So either nobody has to go to a courthouse, or you have to go to a courthouse too, because it's not fair. You need fairness. You need fairness. So I will say that much. But I love you guys, and I do love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And just don't break stuff, and don't be racist or anti-Semitic or ageist or sexist, or just be good, And when it comes to like white privilege, I acknowledge I have privilege. I have white privilege. I also think that there's black privilege, though. Did I say brack or black? Black privilege. I think every race has their own types of privileges, Like if you're trying to get Medicare or something like that, some type of insurance or some type of help from the government. If you're black, you're more likely to get it. That's a privilege that white people don't have. I wish everyone had all privileges. I wish everything was easy for everybody. I really do. And yes, Black Lives Matter. And white lives matter. And Hispanic lives matter. And Asian lives matter. And Indian lives matter. Native American, right? I have Native American in my family too, in my bloodline, but I've just seen so much racism and anti-Semitism and ageism and sexism. You shouldn't be treated differently all the time because you're a certain age or a certain gender or a certain ethnicity or race or of a certain belief system. You shouldn't be treated more poorly. You shouldn't be given less respect. You shouldn't be trusted less. It just doesn't make any sense. I personally have had people who just don't respect me, and they never will because I'm just below a certain age. It's really hard to deal with. You can't communicate with people like that. I have people who won't like me because I'm a guy. I have people who won't like me because I'm white. I have people who will make assumptions because I have blonde hair and blue eyes. I used to have people think that I was rich because I was white. Obviously I wasn't rich at all. I had hand-me-down clothes, and I had clothes from my school. My school used to give me clothes for free. I mean, people make false assumptions, and they wrongly inform themselves with misinformation because they just make false accusations against you because of your age or gender or race or belief system, or ethnicity. I'm just tired of it, so tired of it. So tired of it. Respect women, respect men, respect blacks, respect Asians, respect whites, respect Hispanics, respect Native Americans, respect aliens, respect animals. People are hurt animals too. People think animals don't matter. There's so much ignorance. There's so much narcissism. There's so much misinformation. It's getting too heavy. The world is becoming too dangerous. It's becoming too frustrating. Now, don't get me wrong, we probably live in the safest time ever, but not the least frustrating. It's becoming more frustrating. It's like no matter what, there's always racism. No matter what, there's always sexism. No matter what, there's always whatever. Speciesism, you hate animals for no reason. Or there's sadism, and there's mental illnesses that aren't being checked out, and people think that they are sane when they're not sane. They're insane, and they're narcissistic, and they're psychopaths and sociopaths, and there's people in power who are psychopaths, who are hurting children, and there's children being abused, and there's breeders and Satanism, and there's so much darkness in this world, and it is all being exposed at one time, and it's the Holy Spirit is exposing all these things. That's my belief, okay? Don't hate me because of my belief. The Bible said the Holy Spirit is going to pour itself out, and that's exactly what's happening. People are having dreams. People are having visions. The truth is coming out. And that's what you're seeing, is the justice was not done, even though now is the time for it to be done. You're seeing that pushback. You're seeing the violence. People are not going to be able to handle it. But the Holy Spirit is not asking for permission. He's not knocking. He's coming in. He might knock before he comes in, but he's coming in. Through your chimney, through your window, through your door. Up, down, all around, in. He's coming in. And that's what you're seeing. Darkness and evil cannot hide. There's cameras everywhere. People write about everything. They film everything. People talk about everything. Evil is living in an environment where it cannot survive. It's like putting a germ in a beaker of sanitizer. It's going to die. That's what's happening right now. The evil in the world is dying. And it's kicking as hard as it can not to die. And it makes people do bad stuff, It uses human nature to hurt people, So like I said, just don't be racist. Don't be sexist. Don't assume all black people are horrible. Don't even say most black people are horrible. Don't meet a black person and then try to get to know him to see if he's horrible. Just Don't think he's horrible. Just be neutral until he does something. And then still try to be nice. You should always refrain from hurting somebody, from judging somebody, from being disgusted and just not understanding somebody and pushing them away. Because all it does is hurt you. Gives you frustration, gives you pain. And then you put them in pain, you give them frustration. Everyone's frustrated. And then cops who hurt people, they were probably frustrated. Frustration and anger, if not expressed in a healthy way, kills people. It destroys everything. And that's what I have to say. That's what I have to say. There's crazy stuff happening. It's going on all around us. And now is the time for everyone to see what's going on. Things are going to heat up before they cool off. Because the one thing about heat in the moment is it never wants to go away. It's going to go away. People are not going to be able to keep this hot-headed violence up any longer. And it's going to fight back. And that's what's happening right now. The earth is cleansing itself by the grace of God. It's exactly what God said was going to happen. Holy Spirit is coming in to do the job. And if you don't believe in the Holy Spirit and you're an atheist, or you're a Muslim, or you're Hindu or a Buddha, and you just don't believe in the Holy Spirit, you're going to see it happen anyway. And I respect your beliefs. That's fine. I love you guys, and I'll be back in a flash. I'm just tired because I try to be nice, and then people say I'm mean. I try to be selfless, and then people call me selfish. I try to be independent, and then people call me spoiled. I mean, everything I try to be, people call me the opposite. I'm done. Something needs to change because people project whatever they are onto me and everybody else. I am a mirror. I'm a mirror. God made me like a mirror. You look at me, you see yourself. And whatever you don't see in me, you haven't found in yourself. But everybody has goodness in them. Psychopaths, sociopaths, even them, they have goodness in them. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I'll be back in a flash. I know I've said that 1,000 times now, but I just had so much more to say. And yeah, I'll be back in a flash. Like, subscribe, and share. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you.